Welcome back, everyone, to Football Focus SG Podcast with myself, Faiz, and Mr. JB. How are you doing, Mr. JB, for today?
Yep, it's been great. Great football. Weeks of great football so far. Yep, doing fine.
Yeah, it's been a while since we actually get to do a football catch up with ourselves. Couple of tournaments have come by and passed as well as of today of recording. So, yeah, let me just ask you a quick question, Mr. JB. Do you watch the Asian Cup and the
Mm.
AFCON?
Yeah, I mean, I actually follow the Asian Cup more closely. Not so much of the AFCON, more of like the highlights for AFCON. I think, partly due to the time difference, of some of the matches. But yeah, I do follow the Asian Cup
Yeah,
pretty
so
closely. Yeah.
all right, yeah. So that's pretty much our today's agenda for today. We're actually gonna give a bit of our review for the whole Asian Cup and the whole of AFCON. Also, of course, not to mention we're gonna, of course, maintain our touches with EPL and all the other leagues, including SPL, if there's any updates of what's going on. Which at the moment it doesn't seem like anything is going on at the moment. So if you guys are excited for this, of course, do support us. Do press the like, comment down below what you guys think, share, and just sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, Mr. JV, let's start off with the Asian Cup that you mentioned earlier. That you watch more closely with it. So again, this is a review that we're having. If you give a grading like out of 10 or maybe a grade of ABC, what would your grading be for the whole Asian Cup up to the finale?
Well, actually, that's a very interesting question because, yeah, I mean, just looking at the group stage, right? Up to somewhere where the semifinals is, I would give it a like a B, like at least a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, because
All
it's
right.
really very intense, especially leading up
Yeah.
to it. But unfortunately, the final is a little, I don't know. I mean,
Mm, yeah, it
maybe I'm
is
expecting a bit
underwhelming a
more, or maybe
bit.
yeah. So I mean, probably because of that, that's why I would give the overall tournament like probably a a a 6.5 or maybe a 6 because of the final. I think if it's not because of the final, I will give it a 7 or a 7.5 because yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I
Especially
mean,
the group stage, with some of the surprising results. Yeah.
yeah, I think Asian Cup definitely have a lot of surprises results, and so does AFCON, which we're gonna go through in a while. But sticking to AFCON now, again, we talk about the final, which you say was underwhelming. So let's start off with the final first. Qatar as the champions, well deserved back-to-back winners, or do you think like, mm, not really?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of tough to say that because they are the home ground. I mean, they are the host, so they are the favorites, right?
Yeah,
But looking at just purely just this particular tournament itself, I would say, I mean, they some of the matches like against Uzbekistan in the quarterfinals,
mm-hmm.
when they went through via penalty shootout and an own goal at that as well. So yeah, and then after that, winning a 3-2 against Iran
That was a good
in a
match.
quite
Yeah.
last minute score as well. Yeah, that is one of the good matches. And I think I don't know, maybe because I was rooting for Jordan to win, to be honest, because I kind of like
Yeah.
the way they play.
Yeah, I mean,
So
because it's the
yeah,
first time ever Jordan made to a Asia
that's right.
Cup final. And to be fair,
That's
before
right.
coming into the Asia Cup, they have a very bad record. They were losing all the way
Mm-hmm.
in friendlies and other competitions. And then coming into this Asian Cup with, of course, one of the lower rankings in terms of all of the Asia countries, they really proved to
That's
be
right.
the dark horse of this tournament. Like especially with the winnings of Korea, the most notably one in the semifinals, and of course winning Iraq,
Yep.
which at one point Iraq was looking like a
Mm-hmm.
dominant force, which we're gonna talk about in a moment, which is
That's
group
right.
stage. But what did you make of Jordan
Yep.
in general?
Yeah, I think I mean, to be honest, I think they have a very good tournament. They definitely have something to be proud of themselves. Yeah, although I must say, in the final, I think a little bit. underwhelmed, a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the number of matches, finally taking a toll on them or something like that. But yeah, but I feel that overall, as a as the tournament progress, I think they can be very proud. As what you said, they're one of the lower ranked teams. I don't think they are one of the favorites to even make it to the semi-final, let alone the final. So
Ah,
yeah, I would say they have a very good tournament. Yeah.
yeah. All right. And now let's talk a little bit about the group stage, which is what you said, the where the most exciting part of the Asian Cup, which is the group stage
That's right.
itself. So surprise elimination so far. So far, I would say none has a surprise elimination so far. But um if we were to go through group by group, like okay, example group A, we have Qatar and Tajikistan go through with third place,
Mhm.
depending on your points, similar to AFCON. So I think China was out together with Lebanon. Then group B, we have Australia, Uzbekistan in, Syria, and I think Syria was in, I believe. Was Syria in? Yeah, Syria was in, but lost to Iran by penalties. And then
Yeah.
India was out. And then
Mhm.
yeah, so no real surprises. But I guess the biggest surprise that everyone was talking about was the result base. Like example, South Korea. Sure, they may qualify to be second, but they draw with Jordan and Malaysia. So South Korea, knowing as one
Yeah.
of their main favorites in every single Asian Cup tournament, and
That's right.
technically they didn't lose up till Jordan semifinal. What did you make of their performance then?
Yep. Well, I would say it's quite like you mentioned, the draws uh and some of the matches that they had to literally grind it out, for
Yeah,
a result.
yeah,
Uh yeah, I mean, of course, looking at the I mean, on paper, if you look at their team, they're definitely the favorites, right? I mean, they
yeah,
have they have so many players playing in Europe,
yeah,
well known, you have San, you have Kim Min Jae, and a few others, who is actually European playing footballers. So of course the expectations are there.
yep,
But yeah, I mean that is the beauty of this kind of tournament. It's similar like the World Cup. You can be the favorites, but sometimes the dark horses or the underdogs, might pull off a surprise or two. And yeah, I would say that Korea are pretty lucky, because especially the game against Malaysia, they were close to, they were close to being embarrassed at one point.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, So yeah, I mean, all credit to Malaysia for that game alone. Uh, because hey, Southeast Asia. Come on, we
represent, yeah,
represent Southeast Asia. So
yeah,
so yeah, I mean that's the beauty of this tournament. Like I say again, for Korea Republic, I think come on. Even if you're talking about how they struggle and everything, no one is gonna write them off,
yep,
because they always come back with all those last minute goals
yep,
or even via penalties, etc. Sun will just pull off a free kick magic here and there. So yeah, I would say that Korea, South Korea actually surprises me in some of their performance, but overall, I think you kind of expected them to at least reach, the final,
yeah,
at the very least.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
I mean, and speaking about our Southeast Asia neighboring countries, okay, Malaysia pull out a valiant draw against the South Korea. I think that's the biggest highlight for them. And we have
Yeah.
Thailand going through
Mm-hmm.
to
That's
the
right.
next stage. And then
Yeah, to the round
surprisingly,
of
we have
16. Yeah.
Indonesia surprisingly getting third place and go through to the next round, whereas Vietnam
That's right.
was actually out of the whole thing. So out of the four nations I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, with Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand, which Southeast Asia country impresses you
Mhm.
the most in this Asian Cup? Of course, with
Well, I
Thailand.
must say,
I mean, with
still,
Thailand and Indonesia, kind of like,
yeah,
well, they fall out in the round of 16, but Indonesia have a
yeah,
very tough
yeah,
task, which is with Australia and Thailand with
that's right.
Uzbekistan. So, which one that impresses you the most out of the?
Well, I think, like what you shared, the main two Southeast Asian teams that impresses me is definitely Thailand and Indonesia.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, because I think, okay, for Thailand, I think they are clear favorites. They are one of the best in Southeast Asia's.
yeah,
Uh, in Southeast Asian football. So of course you kind of expect them to do well, but at least they managed to qualified to round of 16, which is pretty impressive. For Indonesia, on the other hand, I'm more impressed by their young talent, right? They have a lot of young players, very skillful, very pacey, like speed is no problem for them.
Yeah.
And that is something I'm proud, to see that they started out early, with young talent, it's
Yeah.
okay, just throw them in a big tournament, it's okay, because sometimes to learn to swim, you got to throw people in the deep pool, in the deep end, so that, you can feel the heat, and then, maybe that's when you improve. So, yeah, so I would say Indonesia is pretty, one of my favorite Southeast Asian country to watch in this tournament specifically because yes, they are not the best. They lost to Iraq and all that. They for some reason they were like the better of the third. That's why they qualified to the next round.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, but in terms of the talent and the coach and the style of play, I think it's pretty interesting. It's quite unfortunate they get Australia because I think size wise, the physicality, it's a bit too much for them to handle. But I think they will definitely bring back the experience they got stronger.
Yeah.
As for Thailand, I think Thailand is quite impressive as well because I think uh, uh, I think they only brought in like some of their more popular players
Yeah.
or some of their more better players. Yeah, because I think some of the other players are probably injured or probably retire from national team or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't see Chanatip, all that. So yeah, definitely I'm still uh glad that they managed to make it that far, especially with my man, Tiraton Bunmatan, the captain,
Yeah.
and also the striker, which is Super Chai.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thailand as well, a work in progress, but still for them to make it out of the group stage, in the way they did, by winning like I believe they win I think Kyrgyzstan or something, and
Mm.
yeah, so I feel that and then they also got
A
a
massive
draw
draw with
against
Saudi.
I
Yeah.
believe Oman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Oman and Saudi as well, right? So yeah, so I think valiant effort there for these two teams. I think Malaysia is a bit unfortunate. Just to quickly touch on that, I think Malaysia, the I would say the like okay, I wouldn't say a mistake, but I would say a wasteful uh game would be the one against Bahrain because they were so close to getting a draw
Mm.
for that game. And then, I think in the 90 plus 4, 90 plus 5, Bahrain got all 3 points. So I think that one is a little bit unfortunate for them
Yeah.
because I feel that if they were to get something out of that match, it would definitely change how they approach the South Korean game. But at the same time, you think about it, uh, they actually approach the South Korean game better with the
Mm.
current result, knowing that there's already nothing to lose. So let's give it all out for the badge,
That's true. Yeah.
for the flag. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, so that is one thing as well. And of course, the last Southeast Asian team, just to quickly mention that Vietnam, a little bit unlucky, I would say, because to be honest, they are in the same group
Japan and
as
Iraq.
yeah, yeah. They are in the same group as Indonesia, right?
Yeah. Indonesia, Japan, and Iraq. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I feel like uh it's a little unfortunate for them because I think in terms of ranking wise, I think they are the highest among the four teams, right? I might be wrong. I'm not. Uh, I'm, I expected a little bit more, for them to lose, especially the game against Indonesia. That was the one that really made me lean towards Indonesian more because of that very convincing win against Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Okay. So now I have a question for you. All right. So we're,
sure.
we're gonna we're gonna give a bit like a like a award ceremony session, like maybe certain award given to certain teams and results and all that, which one that we like
Mhm.
the most.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's start off with of course, the dark horse of the year,
Hmm.
or the underdog of the
Hmm.
year, which I think undoubtedly
Yeah.
hands down Jordan, isn't it? I think
Yeah, for sure.
they clearly deserve. I think no one expected them to win, but they won Iraq.
Yeah.
In the round of 16, they won, I believe, I think was it
Mm-hmm.
Tajikistan as well.
Yep,
Yeah,
Tajikistan.
before winning Korea,
Yeah,
fellas from their own group and just
that's right.
failing in the final, but they deserve the dark horse winner there. Now,
Sure.
next one is the surprise result of the tournament to you. So these are the nominees that I
Mm-hmm.
pull out for you. All right, these are the
Yep.
nominees for surprising result. So
Okay.
we have a Iraq 2, Japan 1. The Iraq winning Japan 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Yep.
the
Yep. That's close.
uh Thailand and Saudi 0-0. We
Mm-hmm.
have the Malaysia South Korea 3-3. We
Mm-hmm.
have also the Jordan winning Korea in the semi-final 2-0. And
Mm-hmm.
um and lastly, the surprise result that I'm gonna pick will be Australia 1, Uzbekistan 1. So that's just a bit of a throw off there. But yeah. So out of these five, which one you feel
Yeah.
like a surprise result for you? We have the Iraq 2-1 Japan. We have
Oh
the
wow. I
3-3 draw
mean,
with South Korea. 2-0 Jordan win over Korea. Um 0-0
mm,
between Thailand and Saudi, and Australia with Uzbekistan 1-1. So
well, I mean, it's quite obvious. I think my surprise result will have to be Malaysia, Korea. That one,
or you know
hands
what?
down. That
I'll add
that
in
has to be
Qatar
up
winning
there.
Iran 3-2. I'll add in Qatar winning Iran 3-2. Would that be a factor as well?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now that you mentioned it, right? So, okay, so to be fair, I mean, all those results are surprising.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna rank the top three. All right.
All right.
So
Give me your
yes,
top
the
three.
first one is definitely Malaysia. Yeah, I mean, the first one has to be Malaysia, South Korea, man. You won't see that result anywhere else.
True. True.
Like easily, 3-3. That is just. And at one point they were like 3-1 up. So
Yeah.
man, I mean, whoever watched that match was, yeah. So I think that has to be number one. No questions asked there. All right, the second one is actually, I would say the Iraq Japan
Hmm.
game because yes, I mean again, Japan going in there favorites, you know, but that game Iraq played very very well, right? I think Japan only got like one or two shots max on target throughout the whole game. So
Yeah.
yeah, and they only managed to score like during an injury time. So yeah, so I think that one for me would be a second
Mm-hmm.
spot.
All right.
Yep. And now the third one for me, right? Okay, the third one is kind of like a toss up. It's either gonna be Saudi, Thailand, or probably what's the other one just now? You tell me the last one,
The
the last
Qatar Iran
result.
3-2.
Yeah, or the Qatar Iran. Yeah. So for me, it's
Actually,
it's
Iran
it's
winning
it's almost
Japan
like a
2-1 was
toss up.
quite a surprise, but Iran, well, I guess they're kind of higher ranking than Iraq winning Japan. I believe they are, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think Iran, there we go. On FIFA
Yeah.
World Ranking is 21, but Iraq
Mhm.
is like, I think Iraq is way lower for sure. 63. Yeah. Okay. So I think I made the
Yeah,
right
for
choice
sure,
there with
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for third spot, I think it's a toss up between these two. Iran, Saudi, and Thailand. But I think for uh, I'm gonna go for my Southeast Asian counterpart there. I'm gonna go for Saudi, Thailand for an impressive 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I think the stakes are pretty high on that one as well. I mean, not saying that a 3-2. Uh, I'm sorry, not saying the 3-2 is not a high stake because that is the semifinals as well.
Yeah.
But I think looking at the stakes, I mean, Qatar are obviously favorites and they are hosting it, so they kind of have their home advantage a little. Uh, yeah, but I'll have to give Saudi and Thailand for that. I mean,
All right. All right.
Saudi is like way higher up by Thailand. So yeah, so I think, and if I'm not wrong, they actually played the last game of the group stage, to kind of determine if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so I think it's kind of valiant effort from Thailand. So that's my top three right there.
All
What about
right.
you? What's your top three?
I
Let's
think
hear
I
it out.
I think for me, yeah, definitely Malaysia and South Korea, like what you said, because nothing beats a high scoring game, and especially when it's like the way how Malaysia kind of come back and shocked them was probably why the result made it much more, impact and significant. And we know, like, um, Southeast Asia, well, Malaysia, Indonesia, we're like one of the lower ends of the whole tournament, you know. And
Mm.
again, like this is coming from, well, a Singaporean like us, but we are more impressed with how they managed to actually score 3 goals against South Korea, let alone going out with a
Yeah,
point there. So that's very impressive
that's
to
right.
say the least.
That's right.
And
Yep.
yeah, if you ask me the second and third, I think I would say Jordan winning South Korea is second, definitely, because they have their first battle, which is 2-2 draw in the group stage. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought Korea might
Yep.
actually learn their lesson, but apparently no. Jordan came up and show up and and they performed better than what it was during the 2-2. So, that was very impressive,
Sure.
deserving of a second one there. And I think
Sure.
last but not least, I would actually go with yeah, I will go with the Saudi Thailand. I definitely agree. Because again, Saudi is not like a country that is that people would kind of talk bad about. They are always there when it comes to World Cup, representing Asia.
Yeah.
So for Thailand to get a
Yeah.
clean sheet out of them, so it's a very high it's a
It's
very
impressive.
high reward there. And the fact that Thailand actually could have won
Yeah.
in that match also, which is even more impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm agree.
That's right.
So, okay, moving on to AFCON. From one cup to another, we have, of course, Asian Cup. The host was Qatar, winning the whole tournament. And then in AFCON, similar story. The host of the country, Ivory Coast, winning the whole AFCON. What did you make of the whole tournament?
Wow, I mean that tournament. I mean, just before we touch on the AFCON, I forget to mention. I
Yeah.
think I don't remember seeing the most number of red cards ever. Like I don't remember the last time I see that many red cards being given for the Asian Cup. I think that is quite unprecedented. I mean, yeah, that is just crazy in terms of the VR intervention for red cards. That
Yeah,
is quite
that's true.
impressive. So yeah, okay, so yeah, so back to the topic in hand. AFCON. Yeah, I mean, what do we know, man? I mean, the group stage alone, right, is mind-boggling, really. Just the group stage alone. I mean, Egypt drawing what
Yeah.
3-3 straight or something like that. Oh man, that one.
They have a lot of
I
goals.
mean, you would have thought. I mean, you would have thought that I mean, just Egypt result, although you would have thought the whole tournament's rigged, man. That's crazy. Like you don't get much better than that. And then all the favorites, right? All the favorites, like the Cameroons and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
are probably eliminated after that in one way or another. So I mean, African Cup, man, that is just. I mean, I can't even put the words, man. It's crazy. And again, the number of red cards in that tournament too, man.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one is also a close winner. I mean, and let's not forget about the manager being sacking halfway through the tournament and all that. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I have to give credit, man. I mean, countries like Burkina Faso and what Equatorial Guinea. Come on, Cape
Yeah.
Verde. Who would have thought Cape Verde would have gone through that far in the tournament? I mean, that is just crazy.
That
So
that is true. I mean,
and
but
the fact that
would you say the Ivory Coast winning this AFCON is more impressive than consider how Asian Cup went with Qatar winning? Because again, like what you say, Ivory Coast were
was
on the
yeah,
verge of going out. They sacked their manager due to the poor group performance, yet somehow still get to
yeah.
go in due to other bad results elsewhere, and then went on to win the whole tournament.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. That's the best. I mean, that has to be the best fairy tale ever written in recent history. That is just crazy. I mean, if you look at their group, right? I mean, Ivory Coast finished third, and Equatorial Guinea finished just top of the
Yeah,
group. Yeah, Nigeria is second with the same point, but goal difference.
yeah,
I mean, who would have wrote that, man? They went through to the next round on 3 points only out of 3 games, right?
yeah.
And
That's
then
true.
they went on to win the whole tournament. I mean, that is just take a look at Group B, man, quick. Cape Verde
Yeah,
top the group. Cape Verde top the group. in a group where there's countries like Egypt and Ghana, the Black Star,
Yeah,
the
pretty
Ghana
much.
man,
Pretty much.
Ghana. I mean, come on,
Ghana
come
went
on,
out
man. I
due
mean,
to poor result. And
Ghana,
also the
Ghana.
surprising one
Yeah,
as well
it's crazy.
will be Algeria. Algeria also went out, so
Man.
it's also
Yeah.
surprising.
Yep. Algeria, Morocco. Right?
Yeah.
Morocco went through the group stage, but again, fell flat, man.
Morocco
Fell
went
flat.
through.
You know what I'm
Morocco
saying?
went through in the group stage, so they were fine, but they were out in the knockout.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They were out in the knockout against
yeah. Tunisia is one of the
who did they
higher
lose?
ranking. Yeah. South Africa. They
Yeah,
lost to South Africa.
yeah, exactly. They lost to Bafana right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember. If I'm not wrong, there's one of my favorite players for Africa is still playing, and his name is Percy Tau. I
Sorry,
like
who?
that guy. Percy Tau.
Percy Tau.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Percy Tau. That's right.
Where is he from again?
He's from South Africa, and I think he
Alright.
played for Al Ahly. I think if I'm not wrong. Yeah, yeah. He's a pretty decent player. I mean, one
Okay.
of those players
Alright.
that I happen to know anyway. So yeah, man. I mean, come on. The fact that they won Morocco 2-0,
Oh
that
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
just impressive.
Yeah,
That is
Percy
that is
Tau.
impressive, man. I mean, yeah. Percy Tau. Yeah, I think I know him either from Football Manager or probably some game I watched. So yeah, I mean the fact that Egypt, like, I mean, come on, Egypt draw. I mean, they drew, but they still went through, right? Egypt. I mean, they got second in the group
Yeah.
after drawing 3 games.
I mean, Egypt
Yep,
draw
and then
all
after
three
that,
games before actually losing the whole thing to Democratic or Congo.
my goodness. I mean, yeah. I
But
mean, they are
anyway,
just unlucky, and even
it's
that game was a draw. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Even that game was a draw, so it's like
Yeah,
it's very AFCON is just something
man.
else. But okay, let's just break it down real quick. All right, so
Mhm,
oh yeah, I did forgot to actually say like the biggest disappointment in Asia Cup. Okay, let's go back a bit. Let's backtrack a bit.
mhm.
Who's the biggest disappointment
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Asia Cup, real quick?
Ooh, biggest disappointment, eh?
Yeah,
Man, man,
underachievers.
that's tough. That's tough, man.
Hmm.
I would say Japan, man. I would say Japan.
Yeah, for me, I would say Australia. Only because yes, I know Australia is not going to be as good as how it is,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
then again, Australia lose to Korea. But then again, them winning the group is not really that convincing kind of thing. Nobody actually thought that they're going to win anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna go Australia. I mean, Japan is kind of disappointing as well, but yeah, okay. Back to the Africa Cup of Nations here.
Yeah,
This madness here.
yeah.
We have the dark horse of
Yeah.
Jordan in Asia Cup. Who's your dark horse here in the African Cup of Nations?
Mhm. Oh man, I mean, come on, man. I mean, just looking at those names, no offense though, but I mean, some of those names, I, I mean, I swear, I wouldn't pick those countries to play FIFA or anything like that. Like, you know, but I mean, right at the top of my bed, I think probably I don't know who's the lowest ranking at the moment, but I think countries like I don't know, man. I,
I
I want
think
to say Congo, man.
I think the lowest was like wait, let me see. Is it Namibia, I believe? No, it's Tanzania. Tanzania. All
Yeah,
right.
but I'm gonna go to dark horse. Have to be Congo, man. I have to give to Democratic Republic of
Yeah.
Congo, man.
You know what? They managed to reach all
I
the way
have
to
to give it to them.
semi-final. Yeah.
I have
They
to give
won
it to them,
Egypt,
man.
they
I mean,
won
the fact that
Guinea.
they won Egypt, right? They won Guinea, and then they went on to the semifinals, right? That's when they lose against the host,
Yeah.
right? Man, yeah, I would I'll have to give it to them, man. So good. I mean, they are my underdogs right there.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. I think my dark horse, I'll go with the same. I think Democratic Congo did deserve well. I mean, I was at first kind of hyped with Equatorial Guinea, but only for them to lose their neighbors,
Yeah.
Guinea. But it's like, oh, well,
Oh
you
yeah.
know what? Can't say much about it. It's all right. So
Yep.
that was my dark horse. Now, underachievers. Who's the biggest underachiever in this AFCON here to you? There's a lot to choose from here. I think I can give you a few names.
Ooh,
We have
yeah,
Ghana, we have Egypt, we have
yeah,
Guinea, we have Algeria, we
yeah.
have Tunisia,
Mm-hmm.
Morocco, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the biggest underachiever?
Man, the biggest underachiever, man. I mean, it's tough, man. But I think it's a close fight between like probably Cameroon. Wait. But Cameroon made it out of group stage, do they? They do,
Cameroon
aren't
made it
they?
out of group stage. Yeah, they did. But they
Ah,
lost in
okay,
the
okay,
round of
okay,
16, I think, to Nigeria, which is eventual finalists. So
okay. Then I think clear cut it has to be Ghana, man. It has to be Ghana.
Ghana, wow.
I think yeah. It has to be because I mean the fact that they were leading like in at least two or three of their group stages matches and then only to end up in a draw. I think that is just disappointing, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I think if I'm not wrong against Egypt, they went up like twice and then eventually that game was a draw if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
And then they lost to Cape Verde, I think in the opening match, and I think
yeah,
that one they kind of conceded last minute. Yeah, and then same thing they blew, their third group game. I think they blew a 2-0 lead if I'm not wrong, because I remember my man Jordan Ayew
yeah.
scored two penalties, only to concede two goals in 3 minutes, in the 91 minute and the 94 minute. What do you know? So you see,
Yeah. The collapse
I
is
mean,
real.
I mean,
In
yeah, the collapse is real, and then I mean, probably because a lot of hype is on the two players, the two star players, which is Jordan Ayew
yeah,
and of course Mohamed Kudus.
yeah.
So yeah, and
I
not
think
to mention
them
there's also
failing to
Andre Ayew
win
as well.
even Mozambique. I mean, Cape Verde was a bit
Yeah,
of well, a wild card there in the group,
exactly,
but
exactly,
they couldn't even win
exactly.
Mozambique. I think that's where you know that, yeah, it's a bit of a downward spiral there.
That's right.
I think my biggest
That's right.
underachievers, I would say Algeria. I would say Algeria. Um,
Hmm.
Algeria group,
Yep,
honestly,
yep, not bad.
they only have Angola, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. Now, the thing is, no disrespect to any of these teams. Angola is pretty decent. Burkina Faso is a wild card. Mauritania is one of the lower ends of the FIFA ranking.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Algeria, who is in number 30 in the FIFA ranking, not able to win Mauritania with the squad of players they have, like Riyad Mahrez, Benaker, Bentaleb, Faguli. Come on, do I need to go on with the names here? For them to not even have a single
yeah.
win. Similar to Ghana, I think they
Sure.
only have two draw, one loss. But unfortunately, Mauritania has a win, has actual
Yep.
win over Algeria, so they cannot even get
Sure.
third in their group. That kind of like says it all for me there. Now, let's go
Yeah, and I
to
would say, and I would say, and also,
yeah,
just to add in, I
yeah,
think I think a second close underachiever will probably be Morocco,
yeah,
for me, because looking at how they did, coming off the World Cup, a lot of expectation is on them, and most of
yeah,
their players are still the same as per the World Cup. So
yeah,
yeah, for them to go out on just a round of 16, I think that's quite underachieving as well. Yeah,
yeah. That's true. That's true.
because looking at the squad, looking at the team, they should deserve to be targeting at least the semifinals, at least.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So moving on to, of course, the surprise result of the tournament. And again, knowing AFCON, they have a lot of surprise results. Similar to Asia Cup, but I think this is slightly more mad, I would say.
Man,
Um, all right.
man,
So these are the nominees. I have to like, scroll through a bit to
yeah,
find like a certain surprise result. Again,
yeah,
we're gonna give our top five here. All right, so one of the top fives will be, I believe, we're gonna go with sorry if taking a bit time here because scrolling up and down to see this their result. We have Equatorial Guinea trashing the home and the host Ivory Coast 4-0 in their group stage. We also have the Mauritania
yeah,
winning Algeria 1-0. We have
yeah,
the I believe Ghana was one of the surprise result that they draw 2-2 to Mozambique. that you mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
2-2 to
Yeah.
Mozambique. Fourth
Mm-hmm.
result will be uh, South Africa winning Morocco 2-0 in the round of 16. And
Yeah.
probably the last one that I can probably find will be Cape Verde winning Ghana 2-1. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, okay. So
There you go.
4-0
Look at that.
Equatorial Guinea with Ivory Coast, 1-0 Mauritania over Algeria, 2-0 of South Africa winning Morocco. Uh what was it? Oh no, I think I forget what's the other. Uh Cape Verde winning
Yeah, I
Ghana
think they,
2-1.
yeah,
And
Cape Verde, yeah.
I can't remember what's the one more. I know there's one more. I
Yeah,
mm,
the last one is the
oh, I can't remember what's the one more that I just said.
is it the,
But yeah, do you have anyone in mind?
yeah, I would say easily the top two for me would have to be the two Ghana result, man. That is just crazy.
Oh yeah, the Ghana
Yeah, for
lost.
me
Ghana
that
has
has
two
to be.
results. They draw with Mozambique and
Yeah,
they
they draw in
lost
Mozambique and then they lost to
to Cape Verde. Yeah.
who they
So
lost? Yeah, yeah. So for me that has to be like like top two at least. Okay, you know what?
yeah,
Maybe
give your
them
top
losing
three.
to Cape
Rank,
Verde,
rank
I'll
them,
put number
rank them.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put the one that you know what? I'll put the one they draw 2-2 will be the first
To
worst
Mozambique.
result ever.
Wow.
Yeah, that one is horrendous, man. You're leading 2-0 with 90 plus minutes left. I mean, or barely a few minutes, and you can't even run the clock. That is criminal, man.
uh,
And
yeah.
actually, second, right? I think second, I'm gonna go for the Morocco shocking loss against South Africa. Is it? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think I think that one is quite. I mean, that one really catch me by surprise. So I would put
Yeah.
that second.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can agree with
and
that.
then third. Yeah, and then third. Then yep, third. I'll have to bring back Ghana again for losing to Cape Verde, and then of course the fourth one would be what was your fourth result? What
Sorry, which
is
one?
the Oh,
Okay.
you know what? Okay. Scratch that. Scratch
So
that.
we have
Third.
two
Okay,
Ghanas,
third.
right?
I'll
We have
put
two
Mauritania.
Ghanas.
Yeah, yeah.
We,
Two Ghana.
we have two
All
Ghana
right.
matches, which is
Okay, so I'll
the
decide.
Cape Verde and the Mozambique. And then we
Mm-hmm.
have Equatorial Guinea versus Ivory Coast, South Africa versus Morocco, and Mauritania, Algeria.
Morocco. Yeah. All right. Okay. You know what? I have to shake it up a little. Okay, so first is still that pathetic draw.
Yeah.
Okay, of Ghana and who again? Sorry, Ghana and who was the one to get the draw? Okay, a slip of the tongue there, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
With Cape
Basically
Verde,
that
I
draw
think.
game.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah,
draw with
yeah, yeah,
Mozambique. The rest is like
yeah.
a
That's
win
right,
and loss so
Mozambique.
far. So
That's right. Yeah. So I'll put that first, right? Second, okay, I'm gonna shake it up a little. Second, I'm
all
gonna
right.
put the Mauritania and Algeria. I think that one
Yeah.
is really freak
Yep.
result as
Pretty
well.
much. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
and then third, I'll put South Africa and Morocco.
Yeah.
And then fourth will be that pathetic. Fourth will be that loss uh, that uh, that Ghana had with Cape
Cape
Verde, I
Verde.
think,
Yeah.
right? So they
Yeah.
lost to Cape Verde, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then after that, the one that they drew is with this
Mozambique.
wait, who did they do? Yeah, Mozambique,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then the fifth result will be what's the fifth one just now you mentioned? There's another one, right?
Equatorial Guinea and Ivory Coast, I
I
believe.
messed up. Yes, that's right. Yep. So Equatorial Guinea and Ivory Coast. Yes, that was very surprising. Yes, that is embarrassment of a result. But that is the match that changes everything. If you realize they started sacking the right people, and then boom, Ivory Coast went on to win the tournament. That is magic. That
Yeah.
is magic. Because trust me, if that 4-0 didn't happen, I don't think they will sack the manager.
That's true. That's true. I think okay, I'll give my ranking. I think Ghana
Mhm.
with losing to Cape Verde will be the last. I I honestly feel like Cape Verde because he has a better result with Egypt and some other teams. So I put Cape Verde as a wild card there, only because Baby is there. So
Oh,
then
come on, baby,
then
my man.
Then next up, the fourth worst one will be, yeah, it's a very it's a very difficult one, but I think I'll put the South Africa winning Morocco. Now I know you put that higher in your list, but again, no disrespect because Morocco is a very good team, but South Africa, they are decent when it comes to AFCON at times. So it could be on a bad day,
Yeah,
maybe, but
true,
yeah, it's still a bad
true,
result. Now the top three,
true.
the worst of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's right. The top three.
so we have Ghana and Mozambique as my third, because like what you said, you mentioned earlier, they were winning, and then only for them to concede 2 goals in 2 minutes in a 90 plus minute is mad. I
Yeah,
cannot
that's
say
crazy.
anything more to it. They are probably the biggest underachievers to you, but I chose something else as first, which later you know why. Second will be the
Mm-hmm.
Equatorial Guinea trashing Ivory Coast 4-0. Yes, Ivory Coast did win
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing at the end, but to lose 4-0, to
Yeah.
sack your manager, to cause a bit of unrest in the camp, it is quite mad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
hindsight is a beautiful thing, and they won the whole thing.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. Exactly. It's magic.
And number one, which I think as a fan, if I'm a fan of this team, I cannot forgive them for this, which is Algeria losing to Mauritania 1-0 and making them out of the whole entire thing with bottom of the group. That is the
Mm-hmm.
most criminal of a result that you can ever ask for. Again, like I said, Algeria has the squad that you need. Even if they don't have the squad that you need, Mauritania is over 100 plus ranking. Algeria is number 30. That gap alone tells you how far it is they have come. So yeah, like that's the biggest surprise to me. Probably the biggest result to me. So yeah, that is the AFCON roundup, which is pretty more diverse that we talk about compared to Asia Cup in terms of results. But yeah, do let us know what you guys think. Comment down below as well. Join us what you guys think about these two tournaments. Now we're gonna round it up a bit with Premier League, because I believe Singapore League is off season, so there's nothing much to talk about. No updates, no news at the moment. Of course, all the other leagues we have already touched on in the previous episode. We're not going to touch on for now, but we're just going to stick to the Premier League because, well, I'm wearing Arsenal. Mr. JB is Man United fan. So, of course, we're going to talk about Premier League. So, 23, 24 matches has been gone so far. And since we have last talked about this, which is, I believe, during January, I believe. So now coming
Yeah.
into this, yeah, let's talk about Man United real quick. All right, let's talk about Man United result real quick. Ever since we have last talked about it, all right. So since the start of
Mm-hmm.
this year, January, this is their result
Yeah.
from Man United: a 2-0 win over Wigan in FA Cup, a 2-2
Mm-hmm.
draw with
Mm-hmm.
Spurs, a 4-2 win with Newport in FA Cup, a 4-3 win over Wolves in quite a mad of a match with Kobe
Mm-hmm.
Mainu scoring 97 minute after Wolves
Yeah.
equalized 90 plus
Yeah.
minute. And then a 3-0 win over West
That's
Ham
right.
and a 2-1 win over Aston Villa as of today. So, well, where did this form come from all of a sudden? After losing 2-1 to Nottingham Forest in a New Year's Eve, you guys managed to turn this around a little bit. So, as a Man United fan, optimistic for top four now?
Yeah, yeah. I think definitely optimistic. A very good run. I would say one of the key reasons for that would have to be players are coming back from injury. Although sadly, might to be injured after that. So I think that has been the key factor for our performance this season, right? Because we have too many players being injured, especially those that is supposed to be starting week in, week out.
Hmm.
So with the number of rotation and all that, it doesn't really help, the team to gel and know each other. And of course, another big important factor is the player that you mentioned right there,
Yep.
Minor, Kobe Minor.
Oh, be
Okay,
fine. Yep.
that man right there. Yeah, that man right there. I think he is like the best thing that has ever happened to the club this season so far,
Wow,
right?
really?
Among
That's
all the
that's quite a big
nonsensical stuff that
statement
has happened.
for a Man United fan,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I mean, it has to be. I mean, it shows that we are still doing things right in the youth department, right? We are still churning out talent. And this
Yep.
guy is one
Yep.
heck of a talent. I have to give him credit for that. I mean, his performances as of late, especially the games that he has played, has been far none one of the most mature performance ever by a youth player,
Yep.
right? So I have to give him credit for that. And yeah, because again, our central midfielders has been in shambles for quite long as well. So having him there definitely helps in terms of the option because who else do we have to rely on? We can't always rely on Casemiro and Ericsson and the rest of the other players like McTominay and all that. So
Hmm.
the season can be summed up in these two main reasons. That's what I think.
All
Yeah.
right. I
And of
mean,
course, yes, it's a great time to be a Man United fan.
it
So it's
is a
time to
great
get a
time. I
top four
mean,
spot.
yeah, but currently you're sitting at 6 with 41 points. Top four is Spurs with 47. 6 points away. Of course, it's
Yeah,
just, we still have about 13 games to go ish, 13, 14 games to go.
that's right.
So lots
Yep.
of points to catch up. But so is top four your goal? And really, because right now looking at the top three, no offense, because the top three is where the title race are. But if Man
Mm-hmm.
United did get four, are you looking anywhere beyond four
Yeah.
right now at the moment, or just four at the moment?
Yeah, I think mathematically looking at the points, yeah, I think
Yeah.
fourth is the most realistic that we can ever get. Uh as of now,
All
as
right.
of right now, unless something happens to the top three. So yes, I would say as of now the focus will be to get at least a Champions League spot, a fourth spot.
All right.
Um yeah, and and hopefully a trophy at least, because the only trophy we have left is the FA Cup. So yeah,
Okay. And okay,
that's our
so
best bet.
knowing that you'll be fourth mathematically at the moment, if Ten Hag were
Hmm.
to still get fourth, right? Would you
Hmm.
still consider this as a better season or a season that he failed? Because considering last season, he did get fourth and winning the Carabao. Yes, you guys are still in FA Cup. You guys are still. I'm not sure if you guys are still in Carabao. I think you guys maybe are. I'm not sure. I don't think you guys are. No, it's only FA Cup left. All right.
No, no, no. Yeah. We are out of the Carabao. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess winning the FA Cup will be an upgrade than winning a Carabao compared to last season. If he wins FA Cup with getting fourth, I'm sure you'll probably say it's a good season as well. It's still a better season. It's still a good season because you won a trophy,
Yeah.
you get top four. That's all that you guys want. It's a rebuild process. But
Of
if
course.
he gets the top four now, and if he doesn't win the FA Cup, does that mean there is a step back for you?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be, especially considering that yeah. So I think with all the signings and everything like that,
Yeah.
last year, you won the Carabao Cup and all that, and this year it was such a bad start. I mean, okay, bad start is one thing, but the way we actually got knocked out of the Champions League and all that, that is quite an underachievement. A little bit to me in my eyes. Although yes, to be fair, that is Ten Hag's first Champions League tournament for Man United.
Yeah.
But if we were to just finish fourth without a trophy, I would say yes, we have underachieved. But
Mm.
if let's say we manage to, for some reason, manage to win the FA Cup and then win fourth, I wouldn't say it's overachieve or improvement. I would say maintain. I would say yeah. We are right about there. At least you have the back-to-back trophies, so it doesn't sound so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. All right. Okay. And now we're gonna move on a little bit to talk about Arsenal, if you don't mind me.
Sure.
I mean, I am an Arsenal fan after all, but I do want to have a rival thoughts on it. Oh, yeah, by the way, I should give my thoughts on Man United. I think honestly, Ten Hag is slowly turning things around, which is good. He's pulling the results that is needed now, slowly taking the pressure off. But of course, I think the biggest thing that everyone look forward to will be Ten Hag producing results in a bigger game, in a big game. Like, not saying against with Man City and Liverpool, we understand they are very difficult to win, they are very difficult to fight, but teams against with like let's say Spurs, Chelsea, You know, even Chelsea, who is like currently really not that good at the moment, but you guys couldn't really win against Chelsea. I believe they come out as stats that the recent win that you guys have over Aston Villa was the first time you guys win a top nine team that was above you all for the first time since God knows how long it was. So that's a very poor stat, you know, like nobody wants to hear or know about this. So yeah, so knowing that, it's good that he's pulling the results so that he can get the confidence back with the team and all that. So moving on now to Arsenal real quick. Again, back from
Yeah.
January after we lost 2-1 to Fulham at the New Year's Eve. Um, we lost FA Cup to Liverpool 2-0 actually, so we're out of FA Cup. But after that, results has been
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more better. 5-0 with Crystal Palace, 2-1 with Nottingham Forest, 3-1 over Liverpool's. Yes, we got a revenge on Liverpool's. And recently 6-0 over West Ham. Now, my take on this, honestly, yeah, it's good string of results. Of course, it's not good that we're out of FA Cup, but I would say it's kind of good as well because we are still in Champions League. We're facing Porto next in our Champions League, so we only want to focus Champions League and Premier League now. Not saying that we can win, but we won FA Cup under Arteta now. So the next step for him, obviously, is to consistently be in a title race, try to push for the title, and try to fight and compete in Champions League. That's what we want. And I think at the moment it has been showing a bit, but Arteta's naive kind of show as well at the same time. But are we in a title race? I would say we're the third party in the title race. You know, the title race I
Yeah.
still think it's Liverpool and Man City. We're just a third party at the back there. But it's exciting to have a three-horse race at least for once. I would love to be just in the mix of it. But do I still think as an
Yeah.
Arsenal fan, do we win? I don't think so. I don't think so, honestly, because if we can keep everybody fit, I wouldn't mind. But the problem is that we cannot keep everybody fit. So therefore, I think I should just, well, stick to just getting top three in the title race. If we can win, sure, I'll be so happy. But if not,
Yeah.
then, well, sorry. But what do you think as a rival fan? What did you make of Arsenal results so far and the title race so far?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Arsenal this season managed to churn out interesting results. Results that is, surprising at times. But then again, the title race is a marathon, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's very, very difficult to like just dictate at this point of time, like just based on one or two good results. I mean, again, I'm not saying that Arsenal aren't great or anything like that. Yes, Arsenal is doing very well, especially with that win against Liverpool, uh, and Man City, right?
yeah,
Quite, these two are huge results. No disrespect there, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also mind games as well. So whether Arsenal and their team has the resilience to continue giving this string of results at least in the next 10, 15 games.
yeah,
So that is the challenge for the players. And if the players are really hungry enough for the Premier League title, then yes. And yeah, to be honest, I'm happy with how Arsenal treat their manager, especially credit to Arteta, though I celebration antics, but that's for
yeah,
another day. But other than that, the fact that the fans are standing by him, the board stand by him, and you can see results are slowly coming, and indeed they came. So yeah, I have to give credit to that.
yeah.
For Arsenal, although yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that you guys are out of the FA Cup, is it?
Yeah, we lost to Liverpool 2-0 FA Cup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, it's a tough opponent, so yeah, so that's all right. The fact that you guys are still in the Champions League, so you guys are still at least what, two cups, yeah, at least
Yeah, only
going
Premier
for
League and
two cups
Champions
for the
League, that's
season.
all we have left. I think Carabao
Yeah,
also we
so
lost to I think we might lost to Liverpool as well. I think Liverpool has been knocking us out for every tournament so far.
yeah,
Let me see. Oh
Yeah.
no, we lost to West Ham in the Carabao. My bad. Yeah.
Ah,
And that's why we trashed them
okay.
6-0 after
Okay.
that. So
Ooh, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, overall, I would say if let's say Arsenal managed to, I mean, last season Arsenal was third, is it, or second, or
no, we're second. We were first all the way, and then we bottled it, dropped to second.
okay,
Man City won
okay,
3 times in a row.
okay. Yeah, then I would say, if I decide to throw this question back to you. Let's say Arsenal finish second again this season, and if let's say Arsenal managed to go through, I don't know, semi-final in the Champions League or something like that,
Yeah.
would you consider that an achievement? Would you consider that an improvement
I,
this
I
season?
would. I would actually. And here's why. Because when we get second in the last season, because we were not even in the Champions League, we were out of the FA Cup
Yeah,
early, we were out of Carabao Cup early.
yeah,
So Premier League was all we have left.
yeah.
Yes, we bottled it. Disappointing. Actually, last season alone, I'm not expecting much. But to be fair, if you're out of all tournament and only Premier League left, playing once a week, you shouldn't bottle
Mm,
that, really. But then it is what it is.
yeah,
We moved from it. We got second. But if you ask me getting second and semi-final from Champions League, I would take that, honestly, because
mm,
like, when's the last time Arsenal even get a semi-final in Champions League, let alone final? The last time final was 2006 with Barcelona. So, the last time we got
yeah,
semi-final is probably during that 2006 as well. So, yeah, I think I would say if we manage to compete that far in Champions League, I would say it's an improvement of a season for us because that's what we want to see. That
okay.
competitiveness. We know that this team cannot win the Champions League. We know this team maybe can win Premier League, but it's not 100% cement kind of like Man City kind of squad. So potentials
Mm,
are there. It's just how much hunger these young players have is what driving us forward. The hunger, and we are living it at the
yeah.
moment. So yeah, I think I would say to answer your question, it's pretty much yeah, I will be happy with it. And yeah, with that being said, I think we have come to the end of our podcast and hope you guys do enjoy today's episode and let us know down below what you guys think about AFCON and the Asia Cup. Do you agree with us? Some of the results and the winners and the dark horses. And also share with us as well about Premier League, any football in general. Don't forget to like, share, comment down below what you guys think. And also, yes, we have plans for the football manager stuff. We were doing the fantasy match which we still are. We're still gonna do some fantasy match. However, upcoming projects will be the upcoming rebuild, which is myself putting in a challenge with Mr. JB. I'm gonna be taking on as Arsenal, and Mr. JB is taking on as Manchester United, playing as a rebuild simulation. So do stick around to check that out. I'm sure Mr. JB is excited as well. I hope. Are you excited as well for this rebuild of your Man
Yeah, of course.
United?
I mean,
Yeah,
of
to be
course,
fair,
man.
I think
It's all about the game on.
yeah, I mean I'm looking at your friendly matches at the moment for your Man United in our simulation. You are looking very scary at
Mm,
the moment. So
sure.
yeah, so hope you guys do stick around and we'll see you guys next time. Take care everyone.